Hello, welcome to our presentation. My name is Alessandra Silas, and I'll be speaking to you today about intelligent personal assistants. This project was completed along with Jessica Mora, Jaspreet Bains, and Mike Ibrahimi. So when hearing the term intelligent personal assistants, the first thought is probably Siri from Apple. A lot of us have Apple products and we probably use her on a daily basis. Before her, it was probably the BlackBerry that we think about when hearing personal assistant. But since her inception in 2012, Amazon's Alexa, Microsoft's Cortana, and Google's Google Assistant are just to name a few that have joined the market. But what is the purpose of intelligent personal assistants? This goes way beyond saying, "Hey Siri, check the traffic," or "Hey Alexa, play Despacito." The main purpose of intelligent personal assistants is to maintain and organize tasks through voice commands. So this is one of the biggest tenets about personal assistants is the fact that we can speak to them the way we would speak to anybody else. They can do a lot of things, such as manage emails, send messages, even make phone calls, set calendar appointments, create to-do lists, and so much more. In addition to reminding you about things about your coworkers or letting you know that, hey, there's a meeting down the hall that you should probably get to, the use of personal assistants in business have the ability to learn from previous commands and develop skills based on that to make tasks such as online ordering much easier and make recommendations that might improve business later on. Now, artificial intelligence is still relatively new, so it's only natural that because this is so new, it can create fear in the workplace. We've all heard it before, we're probably going to be replaced by machines sometime near in the future. However, the introduction of intelligent personal assistants is to actually make your life easier. We can never really replace the human touch. We can only assist it with the use of machines. So because AI is so new, it's only natural that we can be afraid of it. And because it has the ability to sift through large amounts of data within a very short period of time, a task that cannot be accomplished by the human brain, and no matter how many years go by, we'll probably never be able to do what a machine can. But as I mentioned, it's meant to help you. So automation and chatbots are something that can actually help you in the workplace. They're most commonly used by businesses to handle large inflows of customers. So the idea is to improve customer experience, reduce workplace-related stress, and make more workers more efficient by having more information readily available to them. So you'll notice this is pretty big when it comes to credit card companies. When you call them to activate a new card, dispute a charge, or put a travel warning on your card, they generally ask you to put in your credit card number. That way they can pull up your information. So if you have to speak to a representative, they have all your historical data on there. They've seen what you've done in the past, what you've had trouble with before, and see how they can help you do this, how they can help you now. So you can also notice this when it comes to calling any company that offers tech support, or when you're calling a courthouse, they ask you to put in some kind of information so that if you have to speak to someone, they already have an idea of who you are and how they can help you. So this is done through machine learning. It is also known as deep learning, and it is designed to mimic the human brain. So a basic understanding must be given to the machine in order for it to learn and perform tasks. That is, it has to be given an information base that it can pull from and it can build upon. And this is done through the use of algorithms for a variety of different functions. A Stanford University research team reported that a machine had been presented with labeled examples and was able to identify images of cats, flowers, and other objects on its own using an artificial neural network. So this artificial neural network was the information base that it was given, which is why it was able to pull information from that and then build upon that. So as I mentioned, there's many types of algorithms. There's linear regression for numeric data, logistic regression for binary classification, linear discriminant analysis for multi-category classification, and then naive Bayes for both classification and regression. So really it depends on what you're trying to do and how you're trying to do it, whatever makes it easier for you. That's the type of algorithm that you're going to use. Now, just as there's many types of algorithms, there's also many types of machine learning. I selected these three because it pertains mostly to white-collar business, that is working in an office, which is what most of us probably do. So there's supervised, unsupervised, and semi-supervised. Supervised learning uses labeled examples to teach, which is what the research team at Stanford used. So this is very useful for chatbots when an input is entered from the consumer end. It can identify the proper output based on its information base. Now, you probably noticed that if you're typing a some kind of inquiry to a company while you're typing in the dialog box, articles come up that suggest solutions to an issue that you might be having. So this is done so that you can try to solve the issue on your own. That way you don't have to spend time on the phone waiting to speak to someone and then waiting on that solution. Now, this is best suited when historical data is available for predictions on future events and actions. Unsupervised learning is quite the opposite of supervised learning. Here, there is no historical data, nor are there labeled examples. Transactional data works best because the purpose of this method is to encourage the computer to explore the data it's given in order to identify patterns and attributes. Now, this is something that the marketing department might use because they have a lot of transactional data. Now, semi-supervised, it has the best of both worlds because it uses both labeled and unlabeled examples and has the ability to make predictions and classifications. Now, you might ask, how is it that we're able to speak to these machines in our own language and they can understand us? This is done through natural language processing, also known as NLP, and it is based on the idea of machine learning, as it has the ability to process and analyze human language input. Now, this is very important in business because computers can then communicate with their human counterparts in a language that they can understand. Otherwise, we'd probably be trying to decode binary. Now, because a machine never tires, as I mentioned a lot of times before, it can sift through immense amounts of data and can make distinctions where language can be ambiguous and provide structured data that can later be used for speech recognition and text analytics. So you can see this a lot in Google Translate. That's why it's gotten so much better over the years because of the fact that it has been able to identify slang and dialects. So it can tell that you're speaking English from the South or you're speaking English from the East or California English that apparently a lot of people can't understand. Now, it can also analyze text, so then it can see the type of dialect that is being used in other languages, like in Spanish or in French. And that's why as time goes on and languages continue to further develop, so will our data and so will the natural language processing that'll help any kind of machine understand us, whether we're speaking our native tongue or some other language.
Now that we've discussed the fundamentals of intelligent personal assistants, we will discuss the case study that we've conducted on a specific IPA that many of us are already familiar with. Amazon's Alexa is the perfect example of an intelligent personal assistant that has already been incorporated into many of our lives, whether it be in a personal or professional capacity. Alexa was first introduced in 2014 through the release of Amazon's new Echo device, which was a hands-free speaker that was primarily marketed as a smart music device, playing music at the request of the user's voice commands. The Echo was wildly successful, and consumers' receptiveness to the new device triggered further research and development by Amazon. They created two teams, one to focus on further developing the physical devices that could utilize Alexa, like the Echo Spot, Jot, and Plus, while the other would continue working on the voice assistant technology behind Alexa. This second group was known as the Alexa Voice Services Team, and their goal was to improve upon Alexa's technology and create a world where she was present everywhere, in every home and business. To accomplish this lofty goal, they worked to make Alexa available across a wide range of devices, from various manufacturers, not just those produced by Amazon. This presented several challenges, as other manufacturers' devices had varying degrees of quality, which was not controlled by Amazon, and the user's experience with Alexa could be less than ideal, and it would very likely that the user would associate this poor experience with Alexa rather than with the device that was actually the problem. To address this particular challenge, Amazon utilizes a robot named the Junior Rover, or JR for short, that conducts thorough testing of all third-party devices using Alexa. JR works out of Amazon's Sunnyvale location, where it has its own office. The testing process consists of an employee setting the device in question on a table in the middle of the room, and then JR roams around the room giving voice commands and asking questions from varying distances and a wide range of tones and volumes, and even incorporating background noise to simulate a noisy environment. Alexa's responses and the quality of these commands and of these responses and questions are recorded, given a score, and then the final results are reviewed with the device manufacturer. Through this collaboration, Amazon worked with these third parties to improve their devices in order to help facilitate a high-quality Alexa experience. Alexa is not the only popular intelligent personal assistant on the market. Several of their competitors include Apple's Siri, Microsoft's Cortana, and Google Assistant, just to name a few. One of the biggest differences between Amazon and these competitors was that Amazon was quick to release the technology on the market, even when it was earlier on in its development stage. These other three tech giants were much slower and systematic about releasing their voice assistants, which, while it made sense from a product development standpoint to test the waters first, allowed Amazon to be a first mover in the market and largely dominate the industry. Another key difference is that while Amazon worked hard to promote Alexa across a wide range of platforms, including non-Amazon manufactured devices, most of their competitors only made their IPAs available on their own devices, and when they were offered on other gadgets, it was under extremely strict requirements and standards. Because of Amazon's swift movements to get product out into customers' hands and their flexibility to work with other manufacturers, Alexa has made its way into millions of homes and businesses. Since 2014, Amazon has sold over 10 million Echoes alone, which helps maintain Amazon's position as an industry leader and also promotes their goal of having Alexa everywhere. Alexa's capabilities have had significant impacts on consumers' everyday lives, as it helps eliminate some of the tedious daily tasks, which can save people time and money. We'll first discuss some of the personal life applications of this particular intelligent personal assistant. This technology's value was first seen in its originally touted ability to provide the user information at the request of a voice command, or to play specific music without the individual having to shuffle through a playlist manually or search for a specific genre. This evolved into a personal assistant that could shop for you online via voice commands. If you are at home taking care of chores and realize you're low on something like dog food, you can simply say, "Alexa, please order more dog food," and she can use your order history to complete the task and shop for you quicker than you could browse the internet or make a trip to Walmart. She can also keep track of various lists. Instead of trying to remember to write things down or worry about losing the handwritten grocery lists, you can ask Alexa to add something to a particular list, and she keeps track of it so you don't have to. These capabilities can definitely change how we as a society do home life and save us time and energy on trying to keep track of the silly little things that often slip through the cracks or take time away from our families and friends. To take this a step further, Alexa has evolved from simply a voice assistant that helps with music choices, shopping, and list making to a smart home hub. Many appliances and gadgets nowadays have been made to be compatible with IPAs like Alexa, allowing the user to control a wide range of functions around their home with voice commands. This includes turning on the lights, adjusting thermostats, preheating ovens, setting the house alarm, and many more tasks. Convenience is a hot commodity in today's market, and Alexa provides this to its users. This technology is not only useful at home, but also in the world of business. Organizations that are compatible with Alexa and have created recognizable voice commands can experience higher sales volumes due to the streamlined ordering process and customer service. For example, Amazon benefits from this technology as it is ridiculously easy for someone to ask Alexa to order from Amazon online. Because of this ease of use, there may be a rise in impulse buys, or the increase in orders could simply be because the consumer now has time to order with this new convenient technology. Domino's, for example, has capitalized on this, using their customers' order history to allow their repeat customers to ask Alexa to reorder pizza. The IPA accesses their last order and sends it to Domino's, making dinner a cinch for busy families and individuals who are on the go. Outside of its shopping capabilities, Alexa can effectively streamline one's day in the office. So much of our work days are spent checking emails, updating our calendars, keeping track of lists, and inputting reminders. These are all things Alexa is capable of helping us with. Employees can verbally ask Alexa to add something to their calendar or remind them to do something, and she takes care of it in a split second. If a manager remembers that he was supposed to get back to someone on a project, he can quickly ask Alexa to send them a short email to check in, rather than stop what he's doing, open Outlook, and craft an email manually. The bottom line is that because of Alexa's user-friendly platform and the fact that this technology is compatible across a wide range of devices, it is particularly easy to incorporate this particular voice assistant into the workplace. Time saved is money saved for the company, and every minute or second that is not needed for mundane, repetitive tasks is time that can be put towards more valuable, complex projects. This can reduce personnel costs and even ease employee stress levels.
Several lessons can be taken from the case study described above. The intelligent personal assistant, Amazon's Alexa, has been one of the most successful of them in the world. There are several lessons that can be learned from its success. For one, Alexa is user-friendly and has the capabilities to be easily integrated into many devices. Its improved productivity is utilized in the business and consumer world to carry out anything from a simple task from calling someone to adding appointments to your calendar to reordering household goods. This allows individuals to multitask and eliminate assistants. Amazon's wide range of Alexa products include different Echo speakers that can simply be accessed by saying, "Hey Alexa." These devices use semi-supervised learning to gain more of an understanding of its users. This has reduced speech recognition errors by 10 to 22% compared to supervised learning. In a crowded world of intelligent personal assistants, Amazon's Alexa dominates over its competition, while others are trailing behind. Intelligent personal assistants have endless possibilities as they learn from the user data. Amazon's current position as an industry leader is safe since new products are incorporating Alexa into their devices. Since the launch of Alexa in 2014, Amazon has sold over 10 million Echo devices, capable of having Alexa everywhere. Amazon's Alexa continues to improve in its capabilities and accuracy, resulting in endless possibilities.
I'm going to discuss the possible future technological developments. Uh, I'm going to do this in two ways. In the first section, I'm going to cover some of the personal intelligent assistants of the modern time and how they're going to advance in the near future. And then later on in the presentation, I'm going to cover some of these newer personal intelligent assistants things that are going to start, coming up in the near couple of decades that we don't have anything of the sort just yet, but we're going to have in the future. So the first thing I want to get into is automatic emails replies. So nowadays we already have these kind of features. We have automatic email bots where people can write pre-written emails, and when people send your email, these things will reply for you. People will often use these when they go on vacation, and they'll when people email you, they'll respond for you, letting them know that you're gone for the time being, and then when you get back, you can respond to them. But in the future, with self-learning personal assistants, they'll actually write back for you an actual email based on you and your goals. So that way you don't have to take time out of your day to do that, and it can even archive the important ones so you can go and actually read them so you know what's going on. And this will save most people a lot of time. Some people spend as much as an hour a day doing that in their work days, and some people spend even more time than that. So I think this is going to be a great help in the near future. We all at this point either know what Siri is and use it, or have heard of it. And a lot of us use Siri for translating of words. We ask it questions, mathematical calculations, give us directions to places, recommendation of restaurants nearby based on what kind of restaurant we're looking for. And Siri can already do all these kind of things for us. But Apple engineers are saying in the future, Siri will become even more and more customizable, and more you'll have more and more dialogue with it. Instead of it just being something serious being something you speak to and it gives you an answer, Siri in the future will take on more of the shape of a real AI sentient kind of being where it's more like a friend, and even can play a part of a mentor and actually give you real life advice based on what it's best and your goals are for life, and how it can help you guide you to get to your goals in life. So it can become a friend, mentor, um, possibly even more. Um, One of the areas that I found really interesting in my research was the future of healthcare. So we already have personal assistant intelligent devices such as the Fitbit that can monitor your health rate, your heart rate, your sleep quality, the calories you burn, how much you walk, um, you know, some other features as well. But in the near future, there's going to be personal assistant healthcare intelligent devices that will monitor all your vital, organs. It'll measure your blood work. It'll measure, it'll make sure that if you ever catch an ailment, it'll catch it right away. So right away, hey, if you have something that's, an ailment like cancer, it can catch it right away, so you can go get it dealt with right away before it progresses. If you have a nutritional deficiency, it can help you in telling you, that you need to, consume more of this or less of this. And even in a personal health setting, in the workouts, it can help optimize based on your genetics and your personal health level at the time, what kind of workouts are best tailored for you to get the optimum results you want to get the to reach your goals. So this is really, really cool in my opinion, because it's going to help a lot of people, I think, just be a lot healthier and happier in a time where that's a real issue. One of the other things that and now we're getting into kind of the personal intelligent assistance technologies of the future that we don't really have today, which is really cool, is one of them is the ability of these devices that will basically be translators on the spot, where one person from for example here in the States can speak English to another person from Japan, and they will almost instantaneously know what each other is saying without actually having to speak the same language or having to translate it on your phone, which can take time. So you can have an instant conversation with someone without actually speaking their language, which is really cool, because we're already in a global world, but that's kind of the last global barrier that people have is language, and that will soon be eliminated because of these personal intelligent assistants. In the workforce, AI is going to play a huge role, because for one, they can create a summary of your meetings as soon as meetings are done with, so you don't have to spend time doing that or having to try to remember everything. Secondly, they're going to they're going to be the best kind of talent scouts, because for one, they're not going to have biases, and secondly, based on the algorithm and the things that you tell it to look for, it will do a search instantly and all across the resumes and the people who applied to find the best candidate for the role based on the factors the organization is looking for. They'll also be able to do real-time research analyst work, looking at big data almost instantaneously and giving you the feedback you need to be able to make the best decision for your organization at the time. And one of the things that I got from my own personal research, I read a book by Yuval Noah Harari called 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. And one of the things he talks about is how personal intelligence assistants in the future will not only be able to kind of create playlists based on who you are as a person and based on what you want to experience at the time. If you want to feel joyful, it will know you, and it will be able to find the exact songs that will make you feel that experience. But AI will actually be able to even go further than that, and because music, at the end of the day, is based on some sort of pattern, and there's algorithmic kind of a formula to it. AI, the idea is, can master that, and as a result can create the best music for you as an individual. And one way that could be utilized is, in the 5 stages of grief. So when people are experiencing times of grief, it can create playlists for each stage and help you get through each of these stages, helping get through tough times. So your personal intelligent assistant not only will become some sort of DJ for you, the best kind of DJ for you, a personal DJ, but it can also be your personal psychologist. Although that leads me to a message of caution, which is a lot of industries will be eliminated. I mean, we just talked about psychologists could be eliminated. We're talking about research analysts, secretaries, personal trainers, and that's just a few that we mentioned in this presentation, and there will be so many more. But there are some people like Yuval, the author of the book I mentioned, who are optimistic that predict when industries do die in the future, new industries will be born, and that's kind of the optimistic view. But nothing's known for nobody knows really for sure what's going to happen. And then we also get into the issue of privacy because as more and more of us depend on these devices and these personal intelligent assistants, we are putting it all in a kind of digital platform where things can be hacked and our livelihood can be stolen from us. And even though there are, I'm sure, precautions set, these things do happen. I mean, a great example is what happened to Target a few years ago. But with that said, I hope that kind of gave you guys some insights of what to expect in the near future when it comes to personal intelligent assistants. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed it.